Hi, my name is Lenora Mariner, and I'm an EF athlete. Well, I started my triathlon journey about 12 years ago. I used to teach aerobics at ACAC, and in the locker room, the ladies were talking about triathlons and swimming, and it sounded really interesting to me. So I asked them, well, what are you talking about? Tell me a little bit about what you do. And so they said, well, it's a triathlon. You swim, bike, and run. And I said, that sounds like something that I can do, but the only thing is I don't know how to swim. I have this thing about when you turn the ages that are divisible by 5, you need to do something significant. So I was about to turn 50. So I said, well, that would be a good goal to when I turn 50 to do that. So I had to take swimming lessons, which was very hard. And being afraid of water, never really played in it, fear factor was there. So I decided to join Endorphin Fitness with that to properly train for a triathlon. So at age 50 was my first triathlon. By the time I got to 55, I qualified for World's Duathlon. So I went to Edinburgh, Scotland, and I did my first half Ironman. And then at age 60, I did my first full Ironman. So each year I progressively did a little bit more and a little bit more. Just wanted to mention too, my first triathlon, my swim time was like 17 minutes and some change. And so now I can probably say I've reduced that more than half. So I've come a long way with my swimming program. My biggest challenge in getting into the triathlon world was the swimming, and it was really frustrating. Everyone else could swim, and I couldn't. And a friend of mine recently, a friend of mine told me that when starting something new, don't compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 15. And that's what I was doing. I was at chapter 1, they're all at chapter 15. And that was very discouraging, and I just had to let that go. So once I let that go and just said that and look at the progress that I was making, I was more successful. What was so helpful were my coaches. They were there to encourage and to motivate and to get me to my journey. For beginners, I'd like to say is you get what you put into it. If you work hard, you'll reap the benefits. You must be disciplined and committed. Being half-hearted about it, you'll get half-hearted results. So my thing is, I would make the practices, and I would also practice on my own, practice the strokes, and just get in the time. So starting off, you might say, well, I'll never get to where she is, I'll never get to where he is, but yes, you will. You have to work at it. Rome wasn't built in a day, so you just got to keep that in mind. And although I've come a long way, I'm not there yet, and I'm still working on it, working on my journey towards becoming a better triathlete. First of all, my greatest accomplishment was, first of all, making Team America, being able to represent the USA in the World's Duathlon Championship in Edinburgh, Scotland. It was just phenomenal to be over there with all of the other countries and just to compete and to hear the people say, "Go USA, go USA." And I came in the middle of the pack, so I was pretty pleased with my performance. But I'd say here recently, what I'm most proud of is becoming an Ironman. I did Ironman Louisville in 2015 when I turned 60, and something that I didn't think that I would be able to accomplish. My running days are numbered because I have issues with my knees, and I didn't think after swimming and biking I'd be able to run a full marathon. But it happened. I had great coaching and the encouragement from my teammates. I made it, and I'm proud to be an Ironman. My experience with EF has just been phenomenal. It's like a family atmosphere, and everyone is so encouraging. And if you're having a bad day, there's someone with a word or a smile that will lift you up. The coaches are there to encourage, and they, they they mark your progress and say, look what you used to do, but look at where you are now. The thing that was so moving is that my fellow athletes pulled together their money to buy me a new kit because they knew that I was just so upset over my kit that they had to cut off. And you just can't ask for anything better than that. The support recently did Ironman North Carolina 70.3, and the camaraderie, the athletes that came down to support, it was just phenomenal. And it's just a family atmosphere, and you're not by yourself. You're not alone. So that's the thing that I am so thankful for, the EF experience and the family and the relationships. The people that I've met, I've have lasting relationships. In terms of my relationship with endorphins and how it impacted me in my life, it has helped me to be balanced. Training is hard when you're trying to train for 3 different disciplines, full-time job. I'm very involved in my church, and it's just how do you fit everything in? And I like the philosophy here. Michael often talks about your church, your family. Those things are important. And my faith, family, that's important to me. And knowing that the people that I exercise with, that those things are important, that also strengthens that bond that we have. And so I've been able to accomplish everything that I want to in my physical life, and also in my work life and social and church life. People say, well, it's how do you do it all? But it gets done. And you just have to be disciplined. Sometimes you have to get up a little bit earlier than you want, or you might have to do something out of sequence, but it all gets done.